Hello and welcome to Classifying Triangles by Side Lengths. This is Chapter 11, Lesson 1 from the Nelson Math Focus textbook, and you're listening to Mathcasts with Mr. Burko. Our goal today is to use side lengths to classify triangles. You might not have given a lot of thought to the classification of triangles, except that a triangle is a shape with three sides. Now, we can have different sides, and so that means we can classify triangles in different ways. If you turn to your textbook on page 350, you will be introduced to a character named Zoe, who is looking at sailboats. So imagine that each of these triangles is actually the sail of a sailboat. If you have a triangle that has three equal sides, then it is called an equilateral triangle. We can show that a triangle has three equal sides by adding these little ticks. Those indicate that each side of this triangle is exactly the same length. If we have a triangle that has two equal sides, then it is called an isosceles triangle. And you'll notice that I've added two ticks here because these two sides here are exactly the same, but the bottom one is not. A triangle with no equal sides is called a scalene triangle. So three different kinds of triangles: equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. I've added them down here. Just as a refresher, equilateral means all equal sides. Isosceles means there are two sides that are the same, and scalene means no sides are the same as each other. Well, it's your turn, and I'd like you to classify the triangles that you see on your screen. If you had to classify this particular shape, what would you call it? Did you say scalene? Because if you did, you're right. Next one. What would you call this triangle? I hope you would have answered isosceles, because if you did, then you'd be 100% correct. What would you call this triangle? You'll hopefully have noticed that it's an equilateral triangle because all sides are equal. Here's another triangle. It's obviously one of the ones that we've just seen, but in a different perspective. And if you guessed isosceles, you'd be right. I turned it on its side to trick you a little bit, but this side and this side are the same. Well, that's it for classifying triangles by side lengths. Thanks for joining me for Chapter 11, Lesson 1. See you again for the next lesson.